Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC, and welcome back to Lads in Distress. When we last left off, we were still getting to know Prince Snow, get more about the curse. Actually, we're going to be talking, I guess, about the curse, right? No, because Princess Charming here is saying, curses, one of the darkest kinds of magic to exist, are extremely dangerous, not just to the victim, but also the caster. To learn is extremely difficult, to master even more so. Aside from the difficulty and high risk of the spell going awry, which can be disastrous, curses are also limited to living targets. Without a soul, one cannot be cursed. Yes, I know all this already. How does this help me at all? I slammed the book shut, letting out a frustrated growl. Nothing. Not a single useful sentence about a curse like the one on Snow, just like the rest of the books I brought along. How is it even possible that somehow Snow's stepmother learned a curse that I have never heard of and isn't even mentioned in any of my most expensive textbooks? Just who in the world is she? I try to recall who she is, but I cannot for the life of me remember her name. I sigh in frustration again. You can always ask Snow what her name is. What do I do now? Do I really have to wait at least another 2 weeks until we get married before I can find out anything that will help me undo this curse? I ponder the remaining possibilities for a while, opening the book and flipping through the pages aimlessly. Suddenly, the illustration of an old witch on the page catches my attention. Wait. Griselda, one of the first witches in our kingdom to stray onto the dark path and become an evil sorceress, specializing in curses and deathly potions. Griselda. That name sounds familiar and something else. She was banished from our land, at last I heard. She was hiding out in a forest to the north of our territory, plotting her revenge quietly. North? The realization flashes through my mind, almost making me fall over in shock. How did I not think of this earlier? I run to Snow's room, grabbing the map that I'd seen before. Spreading it out on the desk, I confirm my suspicions. The forest Griselda was rumored to be living in should be right to the west of this village. In fact, it's barely half a day's walk from here. A satisfied grin slowly climbs onto my face. I really am a genius after all. Ouch. I guess we're wandering into the woods. Into the woods, it's time to go. It may be all in vain, I know. Into the woods, but even so, I have to take the journey. Into the woods and down the dell, the path is straight, I know it well. Into the woods to break the spell. I wince as another prickly tree branch scratches against my arm, leaving behind an angry red line. Muttering a curse under my breath, uh-oh, not another curse! I quickly conjure up my magic and heal the wound with a light, warm glow of pink light. I turn my attention back to the map. I should be in the right forest, but the problem is that Griselda's house is obviously unmarked on the map. All I can do is just wander and hope for the best. I sigh and push aside some gnarly branches, stepping over a fallen log. The only sounds around me are my footsteps and the rustling of leaves as I brush past the leaves. Or past the trees, I mean. Words. It's eerily silent in this forest, absent of any cheerful songs of birds or even cricketing. A shudder runs down my spine involuntarily. Why do I have such an ominous feeling? Convincing myself that I'm just being silly, I start to continue on the path when I suddenly hear a suspicious loud rustling coming from the bushes behind me. I immediately freeze like a rabbit preparing to bolt. What was that? Is it a wild animal? Bandits? The sorceress? A wild animal bandit that's also a sorceress? Should I run? Should I stand and fight? The questions race through my mind as the rustling gets louder and louder. It's probably Snow, actually. No time to think. I whirl around, immediately shifting into my battle stance. There are a handful of bandits poking their heads out from the bushes, surrounding me in a circle. The person whom I assumed to be their leader is slowly approaching me, an axe in hand that gleams in the pale sunlight that is streaming through the tree leaves. Hand over all your jewels and we won't hurt you. I scoff, my body relaxing. Just bandits, I can take that without a problem. They really don't know who they are trying to go up against right now. I think not. How about I make you a suggestion? Put down your weapons and leave, and I won't hurt you. The leader stares at me for a moment, then starts guffawing as though I made a joke. Guffaw, guffaw, guffaw. Do you know the situation you're in right now, little lady? The 12 us and only one of you. You think you can take us? I don't think I can. I know I can. The bandit's face turns red from anger. You'll pay for your insolence, you little... With a signal of his hand, the bandits start charging towards me. A light smirk touches my lips as I close my eyes and focus on the magic deep within me. Charming! Huh? There's a sudden loud clang of metal against metal, and a loud clatter as something hits the ground. My eyes fly open to see Snow next to me, wincing and rubbing his right shoulder, a sword on the ground beside him. Snow, what are you doing here? Snow opened his mouth to answer, but out of the corner of my eye, I noticed the bandit leader striking, trying to take advantage of my distraction. Throwing out my arm, I knock him back with a powerful fireball. He crumples to the ground, groaning in pain. The other bandits stop advancing, hesitant looks crossing their faces, before turning tail and running, leaving behind even their leader. Whoa! With the bandit temporarily taken care of, I turn my attention back onto Snow. Snow is staring at the scene with wide eyes, his mouth slightly agape. Snow, why are you here? He seems to shake himself out of his daze before answering. I came to save you. Well, I guess that was unnecessary, huh? He kicks at the sword at his feet. I knew I should have paid more attention to sword fighting lessons when I was younger. Laughter slowly bubbles up inside me. You came to save me? Snow fails to hide an embarrassed wince. Yes, I wasn't really thinking. I was terrified when a villager told me that he saw you entering this dangerous forest, so I immediately ran to grab my sword and chased after you. I was worried something would happen to you in my panic. I forgot that you were quite capable of handling yourself, more than I can. Part of me is about to burst into laughter, but the other part of me is pleased at the realization that Snow ran after me instantly when he thought I was in danger. I told you I could protect myself. And you. Yes, I finally witnessed it first-handedly. It was quite impressive. I suppose you must think I'm a fool. Warmth spread across my chest. I smile at him gently, reaching for his hand. No, I don't. Thank you for coming, Snow. Surprise enters his eyes. What for? I did nothing but almost cause you to get hurt by distracting you. For caring enough to come after me, even though I don't need the help. It was still a sweet gesture. I appreciate it. Snow coughs, his cheeks turning suspiciously pink as he averts his gaze. Well, what are you doing here in the first place anyway? Oh, I'm trying to find Griselda. You may have heard of her in legends. She's supposed to be an ancient sorceress, very powerful and very dark. According to rumors, she should be living in this forest somewhere. I want to ask her about your condition. Snow's expression becomes slightly strange. You risked your life entering this dangerous forest alone on a quest to find Griselda just for me? You would go to such lengths for me? Of course, I made a promise that I have every intent of keeping. There's a moment of silence as Snow stares deeply into my eyes. Somewhere nearby, the collapsed bandit leader finally got up with a groan. Seriously, what is this, a romance show at the theater? I'm gonna throw up. We ignore him as he stumbled off into the forest, still gazing at each other. Thank you, Charming. It means the world to me. But we should head home. The journey won't give us the answers we want. What? I furrow my brows in confusion, tugging my hand from his as he tries to pull me along in the direction where we came from. No. Why? We haven't even found Griselda yet. Shouldn't she could help. I have a feeling about this, Snow. Trust me. No, Charming. Please trust me. It's not going to help, and it's dangerous. Please, let's just go home. I'm sure we can find another way. Snow flashes me a charming smile, which I decidedly ignore. No, we are going. You can stay behind if you're scared of the danger. I'll go on ahead myself. I will find the answers I'm looking for. A gleam of desperation flashes in Snow's eyes, catching me by surprise. No, Charming, please. Just listen to me. Just go home with me. I'm begging you, just trust me. What is going on, Snow? What are you not telling me? I'll explain as soon as we get home, I promise. Please, let's just get out of here. Convince him to tell you why. Not until you explain why. I deserve an explanation. Is it that Griselda is his stepmother? That's what I'm assuming. I know you do, just... I cross my arms and glare at him stubbornly. Snow breaks off mid-sentence and gives in with a sigh. Fine, I know you're too stubborn. I have met Griselda before. She does live here. I came to her asking for her help, explaining the situation. All she did was laugh in my face and warn me that the next time I or someone on my behalf bothers her with the matters like this, she will kill the person on sight. I already lost someone once, in front of my very eyes. I don't want to lose you too. So please, come home with me. Taken aback, I stare at his pleading face in shock. Please. At his urging, I finally agree. Alright, let's go. His look of acute relief makes me feel a stab of guilt. I'm not exactly happy with complying with his demands, but I suppose compromise is important in any sort of relationship. I suppose it is true that one day Snow will rule by my side, and as equals, I need to take his opinions into account. After all, there is a reason I'm choosing him as my husband. I trust his ability to be a good king and make correct decisions. The pleasure I secretly feel at his admission of not wanting to lose me is overshadowed by my confusion. We found Griselda before, and who is this person who died in front of him? Was it a woman? Surprisingly, I feel a stab of jealousy at his thought. Is that why Snow is such a flirtatious rogue? I suppose Snow did confess to being somewhat of a flirt even before the curse, but I assumed it was the curse that led him to such extreme scandalous behavior. Was I wrong? Was it actually because he wanted to cover up the pains of his broken heart after losing his true love? I start to speak, but stop. I don't know how to discreetly ask the question burning in my mind, and now I'm in a solemn mood after this revelation. My apologies. I will tell you all about this, but not right now. I'm also sorry for making you abandon your journey midway. I really do appreciate your attempts to help. Truly. Thank you for everything, Charming. I haven't done anything at all. But not for lack of trying. That matters. Results are the most important thing. I produced none. I give a sigh, a hopeless feeling crawling in. Maybe I am in over my head. Maybe I won't be able to keep my promise after all. Maybe I really am just too arrogant. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll figure this out. We have time. After all, I never expected us to be able to make any progress until we could live in the palace and observe my stepmother. Yes, but I'd hoped that I could cure you as soon as possible. I appreciate the thought. It's fine, really. I've lived with this curse for 4 years now. The curse doesn't really affect my daily life, aside from the fact that I must refrain from kissing the women I'm involved with. Well, except for the fact that I can't stand mirrors. This is why I don't have mirrors in my house. In case you were wondering, I will likely shudder and run away screaming like a little girl. Oh, okay, so the mirror doesn't have anything to do with your curse. Okay, fair enough. You're just... self-conscious. I raise an eyebrow in interest, successfully distracted. Seriously? Why? I would have thought that you would even be vain about your looks and stare in the mirror all day. Snow shoots me a playful glare, causing me to laugh. I may be vain, but not that vain. Did I not mention this before, though? The curse was in the mirror. My stepmother cursed the mirror, and I accidentally broke it. That triggered the curse. Now I can't stand the sight of mirrors without feeling fear. It's rather silly, I know. Ah, that explains it. A cursed mirror? I start shaking my head slowly, my feet stopping. Snow looks around when I come to a halt, questioning the confusion. No, Snow. You're saying it was a... No, Snow. You were saying it was a cursed mirror that gave you such a curse? Yes, why? Are you absolutely certain? Yes, I am. My stepmother came to gloat after hearing about the broken mirror, informing me about the effects of the curse and how much effort she went to just figure out a way to curse me without directly casting it on me at the risk of raising suspicion. Who is your stepmother? Why are you suddenly asking me this? Just answer me, please. Queen Anne, previously Lady Fay before she married my father. I racked my brain for the information I know was buried in my head, confirming my suspicions. Snow? I stare at him, the realization hitting me like a ton of bricks. Snow, curses can't be put on inanimate objects. Magic doesn't work that way. There was never a real curse. Snow staggers backwards, releasing my hand in shock when he speaks. His voice is barely above a whisper. What? I grab his hand again, squeezing to offer reassurance. I doubt your stepmother can even practice magic. She was married to Lord Fay, who was naught but a lowly noble. Known for his gambling habits and bankruptcy, he would never have been able to afford magic lessons for himself, let alone for his wife. She wouldn't be able to have learned something as complex as curses. Inexplicably, a slow smile is spreading on Snow's face as he starts shaking his head. No, you must be mistaken, Charming. I've seen it work. The curse does work. I saw it happen in front of me. Now it's my turn to be stunned by the revelation. What? The pieces of the puzzle finally clicked together in my mind. This is the woman Snow watched die before his eyes. She died in his arms after he kissed her. This is why Snow is so convinced that the curse is real. But the truth is that there was never a curse. Very likely, his stepmother orchestrated the whole death. After all, didn't Snow say he suspects that she was behind his father's continuous illnesses? I don't doubt that she would have gone to such lengths for her goal. It is my fault for withholding this last detail. It is a painful memory I'd rather not revisit. But I understand. I must, to give you a full understanding of the curse. Come, let's go home first. This is an appropriate place for such a conversation. Snow grabs my hand again and starts leading us out of the forest. My mind's still spinning, putting all the information and details together in my head. I let him. I must tell him all this later. Then he will have no choice but to believe me. Interesting. Snow sits next to me, handing me a cup of tea politely. Thank you. A minute passes in silence as we both try to collect our thoughts, sipping at our tea. Shall I start? Please do. Snow sighs, opening and closing his mouth a few times while searching for the right words. Well, there really isn't very much to tell. I doubt it. Please do tell. You will probably be disappointed. It's really not as interesting as it seems, since you already know what the curse is. Long story short, I didn't believe my stepmother when she mentioned me about the curse she'd had cast, and now all the phlegm comes up. My lover at the time visited me the day after I kissed her. Next thing I know, she collapsed, clutching at her chest. Kaylee died in my arms. So that is the story of how I discovered my stepmother is a witch. I blink at him after he finishes telling the story in a monotone. Heavens. Only you can make such an exciting, strange tale sound so anticlimactic. Snow flashes me a wry smile. Well, as you can probably imagine, I'm not very fond of telling the story. I try not to think about this at all. Feeling a stab of guilt, I immediately apologize. That was really insensitive of me, wasn't it? I can't imagine how much pain and guilt, unnecessary guilt, he must have felt over her death. Do you mind if I ask a few questions still? No, it's fine. I owe you a full explanation. What happened after? Surely her death must have been discovered. It should have been one of the most exciting pieces of gossip of the year, especially considering her involvement with you. Yet, I've never heard a single word of this incident at all. Ah, yes, well, I was lucky. It took my father a great deal of effort and gold to keep the investigation quiet. In the end, it was determined that she died of natural causes, a sudden heart failure, I believe, so I was never arrested or anything. But my stepmother and I both knew the true reason. I caused her death, and it has haunted me since. I made a vow to myself that day that I will never get romantically involved with anyone again. The painful expression on Snow's face cuts me to the core. My hand seems to have a mind of its own and reaches out, taking his hand in mine. How long has he been carrying this burden around alone? You must have been very much in love with her. Snow looks shocked, then pensive at my remark. Actually, no, I don't think so. I was devastated and suffocated from guilt at her death, but I didn't feel the soul-crushing pain that I should have if I were in love with her. Still, I will never forgive myself for her death, which is why we must break this curse so I can never risk anyone else again. Then, I don't understand. You closed your heart off because of the danger of your curse, yet you have had countless affairs since. Why? Snow seemed to be at a loss for words at my question. Finally, he bows his head, in shame perhaps. I am selfish by taking lovers one after another for companionship anyway. Yes, I know I am. But I told myself as long as they understood the boundaries, no harm will come to them. I just cannot risk falling in love. With love comes the desire for more intimacy. I cannot bear the thought of us accidentally causing my beloved's death by losing myself in the moment and kissing her. I'm a selfish person. I'm sorry. I can't say I agree with your behavior, but I understand. And I think I know how to cure your loneliness once and for all. Snow, do you trust me? Of course. There is nobody else in the world I can trust except you. Then believe me when I say that there was never a real curse. Snow starts shaking his head. No, Charming, didn't you hear what I just told you? I saw her die in front of my very eyes. The curse is very much real, unfortunately. No, it's not. I know more about magic than you ever will. Curses do not work on inanimate objects. It's just not possible because objects don't have a soul for you to curse. I'm not trying to imply that your knowledge of magic is lacking, but how do you explain Kaylee's death then? What if you weren't the reason for her death? What if your stepmother poisoned her? What? Snow looks so shocked that I can tell the thought has never occurred to him before. Is it really that far-fetched? In fact, try and pull yourself out of the situation for a moment. As an objective bystander observing the situation, which explanation do you think sounds more plausible? Your stepmother poisoning your paramour for her ambition, or a curse cast on a mirror that transferred onto you when it broke, causing whoever you kissed 3 times to immediately die? You both know your stepmother would do whatever is necessary to bring you down. Snow seemed to waver, hesitating at my speech. There seems to be a glimmer of desperate hope in his eyes, as though he longs to believe me, but can't seem to bring himself to do so. What can I do to convince him? Kiss me 3 times, I'll prove it to you. Pardon? The look of pure shock on Snow's face is almost comical. To my surprise, he immediately starts blushing. The red coloring his cheeks somehow make him look even more attractive than usual. Kiss me. I'll prove to you that the curse doesn't work. No, I can't do that. I know you believe that you are right. What if you are wrong? I won't let you die. You can't die. Trust me, I'll be fine. Nothing will happen. Just do it. But Snow's protest trails off as I step closer and closer to him until my face is barely a breath apart from his. I can see his gaze drop to my mouth before returning to my eyes. I lick my lips nervously, and he gulps in response. Kiss me, Snow. At my low whisper, Snow finally gives in. With an almost resigned groan, he pulls me close, his lips meeting mine. The kiss is gentler than I imagined. His lips are impossibly warm and soft, making my heart threaten to jump out of my chest. Our lips part briefly before he brushes against mine again, light as a feather. I hold my breath, my eyes closed, as I wait for the final kiss. It never comes. I crack open an eye to see Snow's tortured expression, his breath coming out in short bursts as he struggles to make his decision. Do it. I want to. Heavens, I really want to. But I can't watch you die too. I can't bear it. It would really destroy me this time. You mean too much to me. Just trust me, please. I mean, we've kind of already approved that, 2 that doesn't work, because I should have lost emotions and memories, and thus far, I'm okay, so... Quickly, I lean up on my tiptoes to press my mouth against his. His lips seem to be frozen with shock, unmoving against mine. Inexplicably disappointed at how this last kiss turned out with his lack of enthusiasm, I move to pull away, but his grasps on my shoulders tighten, keeping me close. His kiss becomes desperate and frantic, as though he is terrified I will disappear. I break away, trying to regain composure. Snow's intense eyes search my face for any sign of pain. Are you alright? Does anything hurt? I'm fine. I told you, I'll be fine. Nothing is going to happen to me. We both stare at each other in silence, his gaze frantic with worry and dread that slowly decreases in intensity as each second passes without my collapsing. I'm not sure how much time has gone by before Snow finally relaxes visibly, convinced I won't suddenly die on him. You really are fine. Told you. See, you should have trusted me. The curse doesn't work? No, there was never a curse to begin with. Your stepmother was playing mind games with you, and she won. Now do you understand? It wasn't your fault Kaylee died. Most likely, your stepmother poisoned her right before she went to meet you, and unfortunately, Kaylee died in your presence. It was never your fault. It wasn't my fault? Snow's murmur is so faint that I almost missed it. I watch as Snow's expression slowly transforms into one of raw delight and relief. I'm not cursed. I didn't kill Kaylee. You didn't die. Snow turns away, as though trying to get his overwhelming emotions under control. Thank you so much, Charming. You have no idea how much you have done for me. I will forever be in your debt. He grasps my hands in his tightly as I smile with pride. I did it. I solved the mystery of the curse. I saved Snow. Do you know what this means? It means I will now try even harder to win your heart. Taken aback by the unexpected declaration, I blink at him rapidly. Excuse me? I like you. I really like you, Charming. And up until now, I couldn't let you know. I was trying so hard to get rid of my feelings. All they did was grow stronger with each passing day. Now that I know I have nothing to fear with this revelation about the curse, I can finally confess my feelings. I am going to do everything I can to win you over. What? I suppose my shock is blatant on my face because Snow tilts his head in confusion. Why do you look so surprised? Was it not clear from the start that I like you and all my compliments were genuine? I don't put in this much effort for just anyone, you know. What? No, you've never acted in a way to show me that your poetry was genuine. Really? I thought it was kind of obvious, but I guess she's a little bit thicker-headed. Really? And here I thought I was being rather obvious with my advances and feelings. You call that obvious? I'm so shocked right now you could push me over with a feather. Snow shakes his head, seemingly at himself, before giving me a soft smile. In that case, I apologize. I must be even more terrible at this than I thought. I'll make it up to you, Charming. There is still a week of our courting period remaining. I will do my best to make you happy and be the kind of man you deserve. Snow takes advantage of my shock to grab my hand, interlocking our fingers together. Let's go, Charming. I want to take you on another date today. What do you say to a romantic walk on the beach? He likes me? He genuinely likes me and he isn't just flirting with me because he needs to marry me? I would have laughed in disbelief if it weren't for the affectionate smile on Snow's face that causes my heart to palpitate. The warmth of his soft gaze is so genuine that I find myself blushing. I can only manage a small nod in response. Perfect. Let me give you the best day of your life, my dear princess. Aw. Sweet. That's adorbs. That's a super adorbs a thing. But hey, we fixed the curse. Yay! No more curse. There never was a curse. That makes it even better. Alright, so I guess with that, we'll leave it off there, and I guess we'll see how long this courting period will go next time. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.